So the goal in this call is to open some more specific issues about how we're going to get to a place where the front end is in place for package files, basically,
right?
For anything coming in on the new self-service framework. So we have one kind of big issue open currently, kind of a placeholder, or maybe we should promote it to an epic.
Right.
Let me open it and share screen. What is it called again?
I think it's called generalize.
Oh yeah.
API.
Got it. And I'm gonna share my screen in a second.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so if we think about what needs to happen, oh yeah, so the starting point that we're at currently is we have a spike of the self-service framework, kind of just the back end going.
Right.
And it seems to be pretty far along. It's a big MR, but it's feature flagged. But it's just the back end. Let me look at the file browser here. So
without getting too far aside, how did you get your code diffs to have that custom background?
My code what to have the custom background?
So all your code stuff, it looks different than, like, mine's all white.
Oh, yeah. I think it's somewhere here.
It's somewhere in there. Cool. If it's a preference or something.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Dark,
okay.
right there.
That's awesome. Okay. Thank
you
for that.
Yeah. I think this is pretty similar to what I use in my IDE, so I like it.
Sweet. No, I like it too.
All right. So yeah, what do we have here? So we have on the we have a Geo events table. That's not something that we use in the front end, so not a big deal. Oh, somebody is joining.
Oh, Tone.
Hello, Tone.
Hey there.
Hello there. How are you? Sorry I'm a bit late.
Oh, you're fine.
No problem. Yeah, we've already kind of started talking about it. But we're just looking at where we're at with the self-service code currently. So we can think about what issues we want to open for providing the API for the front end. We do have the registry, or a registry, and it looks really similar to container repository registry and design registry. The data is pretty much the same if we look at the table. So I think we should be able to have everything work pretty similarly. Let me go back to the main issue. So when we talk about like geo blob, say package file, package files, and then we do a get. That returns, okay, I need to look at the current API. Let me change my share to share this screen. Okay. Is this what, is this what
Yeah.
the corresponding thing we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, get everything, and we're returning a whole bunch of registries. Oh yeah, okay. So that should work pretty much the same way. And this is a single registry, I guess, basically.
Yep.
These are the special actions like resync, which are kind of one-off things, which should be fine. It's not too complicated. And same thing for this.
Just
Okay.
an individual one versus all of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the API is going to behave pretty much the same without too much trouble. So then we were talking about like, where is this going to live? And we were thinking in this file under the Geo namespace or something like that. But maybe we'll have a new file for like Geo blob or something.
Right.
And then a different one for Geo repository. And if we go back to the designs, so here we're talking about a specific registry. So the only difference is if we're serving Geo blob package files or Geo blob uploads, then we're going to want some kind of Geo like registry entity, and the params that are coming in are going to have, it's going to say like package files, and so we're going to have to get the appropriate registry class using that param.
And I think where we left off, we were trying to figure out how to best keep track of all the available replicables, right? Underneath blobs and underneath registries.
Oh, right.
Under repositories, sorry, not registries.
Yeah, so potentially there's going to be like another endpoint, which is like just API v4 GeoBlob get that returns. Yeah, what do you think about this, Tone? If you do a get on something like this, it would say currently package files. So then you would know, you know, in the UI that you would have like a package files tab or something like that.
Okay, so you would advertise all the different types you have.
Yeah.
Well, we could do that. Yeah, interesting idea, actually.
Because my main concern from the UI is trying to have a way, you know, the UI will be written kind of in a general fashion, just like our API is, to where the UI needs to have a way to kind of know what it can go get and what it needs to display. And so the other idea was to have like to say like a const file that we keep updated as part of adding new data types, but that's just one more step.
I think like advertising through the API would make sense and fairly easy also. So then everything would be in a single place.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that makes sense. Like we could write this out with more of like a list of endpoints that we need. And okay, so the goal here is to like create some more like smaller issues so we can start actually working towards this. So I guess if you guys are cool with that, I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking like I think that creating just the initial Git that just give you the list of the blobs, like that's a good starting issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because from that point, I could even hook that up simply behind a feature flag in the UI to just if we started working on a view to represent this, for instance, I could at least using the blob API create just a set of tabs of what's being returned from the blob API and the repository API.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, like those tabs essentially would set the state to then use the next level of API that will make to actually do the actions like getting the registry and then all that stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm digging up old discussions, but why are we not considering GraphQL?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I haven't put any thought into that. Do you have an opinion, Zach?
So to be honest, I've never worked at an enterprise level with GraphQL, so I'm totally open to learning it if there are like from what we're doing, if it makes sense to go from a GraphQL standpoint. I know of some, I know a little bit of it, but I'm be honest, I haven't worked too much with it.
Yeah, I've heard someone mention that the new API endpoints we make should be GraphQL preferred. I'm not sure if it's a golden rule, but that's like the guideline to go GraphQL first.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's documented or
That makes a ton of sense. I should have thought about that. Hello, Gabriel.
Hey.
I guess there should be developer guidelines also, like probably yes, this.
Gabriel, do you know if it's the case that all like new API-based APIs stuff should actually be GraphQL?
I heard something similar to Tom. I think there is like no golden rule that it has to be GraphQL, but I think the idea is that if it makes sense, make it also available as GraphQL. I believe like the biggest selling point for GraphQL is that you can join multiple things in the same request as you will do with a database query. But if it's something that you will not benefit from doing that, I don't know.
Would it be reasonable to only implement this new stuff with GraphQL and not add a RESTful API?
Guess that's a question for Zach, or who are you asking?
I don't know.
That's because I guess that's the one thing is I'm not quite sure because like I said, I haven't really worked too much with GraphQL, like I mentioned, so it'd be
This
a
is
little
your
bit
chance.
I mean, it's totally my chance, and I'd love to do it, but yeah, I'd have to kind of figure out how we expect to interact with it from the front end.
Could you repeat again what you said, Mike? Because my connection cut off here.
Yeah, I was just suggesting when we add self-service framework and we implement the front end, can we do it with GraphQL and not add a REST API?
I think makes sense if we are considering like combining, like this is mostly an internal API, I think. I don't suppose people are going to consume that, or there will be multiple external tooling using that. But yeah, I think it makes sense if that's not like a time impediment for us.
Yeah. Maybe this is a question we should just ask in front end or something.
Yeah, we could post it in Slack. I'm sure a front end maintainer would have some good feedback for that. Because it's honestly something that I might want to pair with someone if I could, to kind of try to get some of the new stuff going so that I don't bottleneck it too much.
Sure, yeah.
Also, to be fair, I don't think we have the authorization part implemented for GraphQL in terms of how we consume it in Geo. I think I don't know if we are using something special for our current APIs, like the Geo token or something like that. But I don't think it is exposed to GraphQL today. So that will also require some work on the backend.
It seems like we're just doing this regular authenticated as admin, which is used everywhere. Yeah, I don't know how we would do this in GraphQL.
How this discussion started? Sorry, I missed the beginning of it.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay. So this is like kind of like the main issue that we're talking about today. Generalized API for geo-replicable objects. And the goal today was to create some smaller concrete issues so we can start working towards the world where we have self-service framework and we have the front end running for admins. So yeah, we didn't really think about GraphQL, so that's a really good question, but the plan at the moment was like, we'll just implement an API, a REST API like we have for designs currently, and that'd be pretty straightforward.
So for this internal consumption, it requires a special kind of authorization. Actually, I think we should probably make it official that it's internal. These ones that we use to sync Geo, because this is not intended for any other application to piggyback on that, like to retrieve blobs and repositories.
Yeah. There's two different things there, because the one you're talking about.
Yes, so those are fine to stay as REST, but the ones that are for the web consumption, I think both ways are fine. I would vote to leave that to Zach, if whatever he decides it's easier or better for him. So I don't think there is like any pros or cons here.
So I mean, for sake of simplicity, REST would be the way to go, just because that's where my wheelhouse is. But as you know, as far as like learning, like it will be beneficial to learn Graph, and so I can see both sides of it. It just, you know, I'd almost be more comfortable maybe like starting on REST and then working our way into Graph, but that's a lot. That's like doubling work. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I would say that it makes sense to switch to Graph if there is like a compelling use case that needs to be done.
Just from my experience in front end and you know some of the APIs that I've worked with in the past, I've had a hard time getting completely sold on Graph just as from a personal like usage, and so yeah, I think that's probably like some of the contention there. But I understand GitLab's adopting it as a whole. But I haven't really seen anything in GitLab using Graph explicitly that I've worked with either. So I'd have to kind of check out what we're doing in Graph so far. I need to read through some of the stuff because I haven't really read through I didn't realize we had a GraphQL section on the front end dev either.
For the bots and integrations that we have, I think there's, I know that internally in the product, I think merge request widgets use GraphQL, okay. But for integrations, they will be very, very useful because we have to link a lot of stuff like projects with tags and groups, users, etc. So this is all like multiple requests that you can probably get all of them into a few.
Yeah, so I guess from our perspective, I'm not quite sure what the data model looks like, but is there a lot of relational stuff like that we'll have to be making multiple requests to get the data for? Or is this more of when we're looking at like a blob or a repository, is everything coming back pretty much as
for our use case? I think we give most of the information back. Or we should.
Yeah, I think ours is a fairly average use case. Most of the information is in the registry, but there will be certainly some coming through the associations.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we, since we're not really 100% sure, why don't we say, put it on the list action items, Zach, to just kind of like ask front-end maintainers or whatever, like if there's like some kind of strong push for GraphQL, okay, then we'll go that way. Otherwise, let's just open like the first few issues for the RESTful way, REST API way, and maybe we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah, I'll after this, I can post something in the front end chat.
Okay. I don't know how to put this. Returns JSON like there's arrays, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be like
it could either be an array of strings, or if there's, it could be an array of like objects too. If there's more, I don't know if there's any more information than just that.
Okay.
So
I actually have a question about this. I think we are using we are returning a JSON with a few information. So this is like to get a specific. No, this is to list all blobs, right?
Go ahead.
Or to get a specific one.
I think it's this endpoint's to get all blob like all registries that are blobs.
Okay. So then I ask my question later on because it's a different thing.
Okay.
Interesting. So we don't have the geo replication designs listed on the API.
I think we consider them internal as well. So there is like no documentation.
And I think that all of these APIs, in my head, would be just for our web UI. I can't imagine other things trying to consume this, but that could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the whole thing about having a REST API is kind of like it could be used for other things.
Right.
For people script random stuff all the time that you would not expect.
That is true.
So it's useful in that way. But okay, well.
Well, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, never mind. I was trying to think about the concept of hitting that when you're getting the data based on the node you're on, but that would just be the domain. So never mind. But yeah, so I mean, assuming that we're just returning the string names, like so, in my head, those things would be used as the parameters for the next part of this blob API, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean, this is like super simple, but I don't know, gotta write tests and stuff. I think it's pretty clear what you need to do here, yeah?
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward.
This is really backend. What else?
There's an API tag.
API, this one?
Yep. I mean, I use it. Hopefully that's okay.
Yeah, okay. Category, API.
And I'll probably want to do the same thing for repositories.
Yeah, I'm thinking, well, let's leave those out to start with. Let's go down the road of blobs a little bit, and then yeah, because we don't have any plans to add the repository type to self-service for probably a long time. Well, hopefully not a long time, but
there is snippets coming.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do it. Yeah. But when that is, not in the next milestone, I don't think. What is the epic I'm looking for? Build a scalable. Wait, I have to search for me.
I had a problem with this the other day trying to find an epic, and so I had to go to the epic and then add the issue to it. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that's not very cool. Okay.
So much the type ahead's busted in some way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just clicked add an issue.
Probably using GraphQL.
Okay,
I feel Tom doesn't like GraphQL.
He's the one who brought it up.
No, not like that. I just, yeah.
That's a good strategy. You brought it up and then you killed the idea quickly.
Do you think we should promote this to an epic at this point?
I think I think if especially there's a lot, and if we're gonna spend all these issues off of it, and that other epic's getting a lot of stuff tied to it, I think this is. I think so.
I don't know. That's wrong right there. How do we do that again? I don't remember.
I also vote for promotion /promote.
Is there no UI for this?
I don't think there is any UI.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Sorry, promote. That's it, huh?
There it is. There it is. And I guess we probably want to tie that issue to this epic then.
Yeah. Okay. What happens if you add? It moves it, I guess.
Hopefully.
Oh, have it like added itself as a sub app to the other one? Because I don't think it did that. The other issue was part of an epic, so this should be sub epic for that other epic. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, this is what you mean.
So feature request or bug report.
Oh, you're saying when you promote it, it should have automatically made it a sub epic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the idea of promotion. You copy everything and you preserve all the.
That's
like
right.
the useful information, and
Right.
being part of an epic is a useful information.
You know, I actually would place a bet that the issue already exists. Well, I am not finding it. Okay, well, maybe we should add an issue. Would you mind adding an issue, Gabriel?
Yeah, I can create, no problem.
Thank you. All right, so we've got we've got our thing promoted to an epic. It now has the first thing at an endpoint to list blobs. And our epic is now a child of the big self-service epic. Where'd it go? This one. That makes sense. Let's add the next issue after this simple one, which is this, just the regular get on that. List.
Registry items, replicable.
I know it's weird because we're actually like, that's essentially what we're doing. Oh, well, I don't really need to. Okay, so,
I can give you a sample of what that would look like if that helps.
okay, yeah, sure, that'd be great.
One second. I'll just take it out of this is the mock from the test, so this will probably be close enough. Hopefully,
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you in Slack because it'll probably translate. I'll be able to use code block on it.
Okay.
So that's what the response looks like from the designs fetch.
Okay.
And you can take, so I sent the whole thing. You can take out like the consts and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But I think I wanted to show like that the headers right there and the bottom of that, that's the pagination part. So that's kind of important.
Oh, okay.
So that's how pagination comes across. And there's a couple of things in the designs controller that sets up the pagination.
It's, I mean, it must be something generic, right?
Yeah, so there's, under the params, there's that use and then colon pagination. And then in the Git, there's a present paginate.
Mm-hmm.
It's this line right here. I'll send that over to you. So
Yeah,
that's how the pagination works. So that's important too, that paginates it in the response.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
And then if we also wanted to allow for the querying, which is done a little bit higher in the georeplication file, the file you're looking at on your screen, it's the two optional params on line 25 and 26. So those are like nice to have. And we talked about your concern with some of it, I remember.
Yeah, that it kind of looks like it might be different depending on the blob.
Yeah, but at the very least,
weird.
At the very least, we could do sync status, and then we had talked about maybe like a potential way of marking things when you create a blob model, like marking things as searchable and then having a generic search function. But I don't know like what would be in and out of the scope of all what we're doing.
Yeah.
But those are two things that they're kind of important to the current view we have, but not necessarily, maybe it won't be as important with some of the new views that we create.
Right. Okay. Be sure to include pagination also. So in our case, we keep the sync states the same. Oops, I'm not on the right branch.
I imagine we would have to, right? Because something down the line is processing all that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so when we added the registry in the spike, we were talking about adding a new sync state. I just want to make sure that we kept pretty much. Pending started synced failed. Yeah. Okay, I think that's the same. Oh, we don't have started here though.
Weird.
I don't see why we wouldn't. That'd be cool because then you could see like what is currently syncing.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how I built up the designs. Yet it just goes straight to pending. There isn't a started.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this makes sense.
Cool.
I'll put maybe not search param, unless we are sure the API works for all blobs the same way. Question mark. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have to decide that now necessarily.
I think it's good to call it out though.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Da-da-da-da. I don't know. I'm going to take a guess. Weight of 3. It's probably not quite that much because these are all very similar to the designs one, but maybe it'll be a little weird because we have to do it generically with the new stuff. I'm not sure.
I think the most difficult logic in my head is taking that param of the replicable and then figuring out how to find the registry based on that.
We'll have.
Is there going to be a map somewhere that we can reference?
Yeah. How would we do that at the moment? Gabriel.
What is the question again?
So like in the request, you're going to be given replicable, I guess it should be replicable name.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we on the back end mapping that to registry? So let's see. How are you getting the registry class from given a replicable name?
Today we do that in controllers, I think. Like for like what I have online today, it's in the GitLab Geo Projects, I think it's called, like Geo/projects. Yeah, it's being Geo Projects, this one. So this is what lists all the projects, but I think the other one is Geo Attachments or something like that. It's in the same folder, but it's called Attachments Controllers. Uploads controllers, yeah.
And I guess we need that. What the API needs to be able to do is figure out from the string uploads, it needs to know to come to the uploads controller.
Wait.
Or maybe not the controller necessarily.
No, so this is just so we can see the code.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have that problem currently. Because on the project controller, you're dealing with project registry, and uploads controller, you're dealing with upload registry. But on our blob endpoints, given a replicable name like packages, package file.
We can. I think we are going to start a registry on the replicable itself. That was on the POC. So this is not a big deal. If you have the replicable name or the replicator name, you can get from the replicator the registry, if that makes sense. You go to the replicator and ask for the registry, and then you do your stuff.
Okay.
So you wouldn't go to a particular kind of replicator though. So you're saying you would go to GitLab Geo replicator and ask it for.
I think we would have to do that something similar to what we are trying to do before with by the replicable name, get the replicator, and from there get the registry.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Not
Okay. So
ideal,
here we have this. That's right. So, so you would. That okay. That is something that we did already.
Yeah, you ask the main replicator for like the actual replicator you need by the replicable
Right.
name.
Okay. Yeah, Zach. So here it is currently. If it stays the same way, then there you go. And then you can do your queries or whatever it's supposed to be.
Cool.
Okay, so we do have a way.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was expecting it to look like. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad.
So that should all be pretty,
So
that should be feasible then.
This is a good validation for the choices that we made. Then.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? And I'm going to paste that in here. How do I get the registry from the replicable name?
Do you need to pass a model record? I don't think for this use case that will be required.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so do we have it all in class methods? Maybe we did already.
Yeah, it's
Registry class.
method.
Oh yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay. That's not bad at all.
Not at all.
All right. You think it's probably worth doing one more that has to do with a specific ID, I suppose. Yeah. So let's just do that one.
Yeah, I think with those three issues, then we pretty much have our read-only API built out.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And this one should be pretty straightforward, assuming the other one's done first.
Okay.
And the response would just be just like one of those objects.
That's right. Yeah. I assume it's in this data thing again, or what?
Typically, a show wouldn't be an array. It would just be an object. So like
Okay.
data object. If you want to do like the data colon still, just ditch the array.
Okay.
I would say that's pretty typical.
Well, I don't know how this. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. It's fine. Da 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 da. Okay, yeah, this is really simple actually. I don't think we need to say too much more on that. So what do you think? That's probably good?
I think that's a good start. Like I said, that'll get us basically a read-only API for all blobs.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's enough to at least build out some sort of front-end view too on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it include the blob itself as part of this?
By that, do you mean like all the blobs, like all the different types?
No, I mean, if you're listing then on the API or on the view, would make sense to actually show a preview or if it's an image or something like that. Should that be exposed as part of the API or something like that?
Interesting. So right now, uploads doesn't do that. It's just links to things, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure if we should do that. Just like
it's a cool concept. If it's able to return that stuff, then it'd probably be cool to do.
You're saying return the actual data? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, I think I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah, like for repositories that doesn't make sense, but for actual like images, it may be useful for like the administrator to actually see one of them if they are not sure if that's the correct one or not, like be able to actually review them.
I'd like that idea. Maybe within I worry about if we're going to have this list view of tons of things, it's a lot to download for the user.
I think that would be better placed in the regular admin area, don't you? Like you link to the regular admin
yeah, can be.
Page. But that could be useful there.
Yeah, I think I was thinking there, not anywhere else.
Oh,
like when you when you go to the secondary, you see like geo nodes, and then you have like today projects and uploads.
mm-hmm.
Inside whatever like package or uploads or whatever. If there's like when you're listing, then maybe one of the images is corrupt or something like that, and you want to take a look of what is looked like.
Yeah.
If it was corrupt, we'd probably have to link back to the primary, right, to get the actual upload.
Yeah, but maybe you want to see how it's what it means by it being corrupt. Like,
but don't you think
normally have it's ideas. I'm not sure if that's useful. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Currently, people are asked. Okay, there's an issue that I remember where people are like asking for an upload manager in the admin area or on an issue where you can see like you know what uploads you added and delete them because there's no way to do that currently. So I think they would be even more frustrated if they saw that Geo was like showing you everything, and then they're like, well, why don't we have the ability to just see this somewhere else and manage it? So yeah.
Yeah, I think currently you can do that because our data model don't like. I think you only have the relation with the project for attachments, uploads, etc. But you don't have like one-on-one with issues or merge requests, etc.
Yeah, I think it depends on. Oh yeah. If you upload an image into an issue, it goes onto the project. Yeah, I think you're right. All right, I'm gonna just submit this. I think I'd like to rename this to I don't know, something like that. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. Let me refresh this. We should have the 3 issues. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we've accomplished our goal here. Is there anything else that we should talk about before we go?
I'm thinking about if you guys think it's all right. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow, and I'm getting pretty close to signing off today, and then it'll be the weekend. If it makes more sense to maybe ask this question on Monday, the GraphQL question. If you guys are all right with waiting till Monday for me to ask that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I'll post that, and that way I can actually contribute to the conversation. Otherwise, I don't want to put it out there and then not say.
And then leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not going to be able to check my computer with all the moving.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Zach and Gabriel and Tone for joining. I hope the move goes smoothly, Zach.
Thanks.
And yeah, let's continue the conversations async, and I'll see you all later.
Cool. Thanks for facilitating this. This was really helpful.
No problem.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.